Hello everyone, welcome back to the EduMix Study Hub. So as many of you requested for the BHIC 142 class in English medium, okay, for English medium student. So today we are starting this special English lecture series, okay, for you only. So in this class we will study Japanese historical development in a very simple and easy language. We will understand not only the dates and events but also how Japanese society, political culture and religion developed over time. Okay, so let's begin our class. So as we have our first topic from here, historical study and approach of Japan, right? So here the study of Japan is not like is not limited only to the political events, but is also studied from a social, economic, culture and environmental perspectives. Okay, historians try to understand how society, the state and culture developed during the different periods. Modern students also, like modern studies, also connect Japanese history with a global history. So basically, when historians study Japan, they do not focus only on the kings or the wars, but they study about the society, about the economy, culture, environment and the political changes. So Japan's history like shows how people live and how the country changed over time. For example, Meiji Restoration, okay, modern Japan started. Okay, Meiji Restoration, like from that time modernization of the Japan was started, and the Edo period, feudal system of the Japan. Okay, so now the next point is influence of Chinese civilization on the Japan. So China had a very important influence in East India. Japan adopted many elements from the China administration. So writing system, religion and the culture tradition. The Chinese language remained the language of the administration and higher culture of the long time. Later, like Japan modified this influence according to its own needs. So basically what happened in this, China had a huge influence on Japan. Like we know that China is very big country, right? There is a many culture, okay, but Japan adopted the many things from the China at that time. Japan and Korea, they adopted many things from the China, but currently we are learning about the Japan only. So they adopted administration system, Chinese writing, religion, culture and traditions, but Japan later modified these ideas according to its own needs. Okay, like they get many things from the China, but they modified it later when they realized that now we have to like do something for ourselves. कि हमें कुछ करना चाहिए, now I have to prove myself. So they started to modify that things. Okay, for example, Chinese writing system, okay, adopted by the Japan, and Buddhism reached Japan through the China. So basically Buddhism was reached Japan through the China. Okay, we will learn about it later. So Japan language and culture development, you can see here this is a like diagram. We can see the different culture in this picture. Japanese language and culture development. Third topic is the Japanese language and the culture development, right? So the Japanese language adopted Chinese characters and developed its own identity. Okay, like Japan was influenced by the Chinese writing system and later created its own writing style. The development of the Japanese writing system was an important stage of the cultural changes, okay, which promoted literature, education and the art. The growth of language played important role in the strengthening Japanese culture and the traditions. So basically what happened here, Japan's language was influenced by the Chinese characters. like Japan adopted Chinese writing, and later like they developed its own writing from that ideas. Okay, because of language development, many things like increased there. First, literature increased, education like improved, and art developed. Okay, for example, we can see kanji script adopted from the China and used in Japanese language, and Japanese literature developed through the language growth. Okay, now the next topic, division of Japanese history into the period. like जापान की जो हिस्ट्री है ना वो कई सारे पीरियड में डिवाइडेड है ना. देयर इज अराउंड 4 or 5 पीरियड जो मेन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट माने जाते हैं. So Japanese history is divided on the basis of the different ruling system and the political changes. Period like Heian, Kamakura, Ashikaga and the Tokugawa are considered important stage of the Japanese development. This period brought major changes in Japan's government system, society and culture. Modern Japan began after the Meiji Restoration of the 1868. तो Meiji Restoration के बारे में भी हम पढ़ने वाले हैं आगे, जिसका कि like starting कब हुई थी 1868 में. Okay, and after this restoration, Japan's like modernization was started. Okay, now the next topic, number 5, environment and the Japanese history. Like here, some historians have tried to understand Japanese history from an environmental perspective. Okay, according to them, food, agriculture and industrial development played an important role in a changing society. The relationship between human and nature influenced Japan's development and lifestyle. So basically here what happened, environment also influenced Japanese development. Okay, like the new historians, like they said that environment also influenced Japanese development. Things that changes society, first was agriculture, food production and industrial like growth. ठीक है, तो इनकी वजह से क्या हुआ, वहाँ की सोसाइटी जो थी वो बहुत डेवलप हुई. ठीक है, सोसाइटी डेवलप हुई, चेंजेस आए. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी कैन सी द एग्रीकल्चर डेवलपमेंट like gives social changes, and industrialization gives growth of the modern Japan. Okay, now the next point is Jomon and Yayoi culture. So in Japan, that two culture was very famous at that time. Okay, Jomon and Yayoi culture. So that was like considered important among Japanese early civilization. Okay, जापान के अर्ली सिविलाइजेशन तो उसमें सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट माना जाता था, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट थी इनकी. जोमोन सोसाइटी वॉज मेनली बेस्ड ऑन द hunting, fishing and the gathering. Okay, while Yayoi culture developed agriculture and settled life. So these changes played in an important role in the development of Japanese society. Okay, and the foundation of the state formation. So basically what happened there, these are the Japanese early civilizations. First we need to understand, and Jomon culture was based on hunting, fishing and gathering. And if we talk about the Yayoi culture, that was based on agriculture and settled life. So, and if we can see the example here, for example, Jomon culture, hunting, gathering society, and Yayoi culture, agriculture and settled life. So that also helped to make the foundation of state formation. Okay, next topic is 7th number, rise of the Heian period. So in 794 CE, the capital was shifted to Heian, and this period became an important stage of classical Japanese culture. During this time, political structure became stronger, and literature, arts, and the culture developed rapidly. This period is considered one of the golden ages of the Japanese civilization. Basically, sometime examiner asked this question, what was the golden time of Japan, what was the golden period of Japan or ages of Japan. So you can write there in this question, this answer. Okay, this is the answer of the same question. सो यहाँ पे बेसिकली क्या हुआ, इन 794 the capital shifted to Heian, and this became a golden period. Why? Because at that time like many development was happened. First literature, literature increased, art and politics and the culture became very famous. Okay, for example we can see Heian period was developed of the literature and the culture, and main point is the Tale of the Genji, famous literary work of this period. Okay, this is a very important. The 8th point is political system of the Heian period. So here we are going to learn about the Heian period. Okay, that was very important, but why? So during the Heian period, the emperor was considered the highest ruler. Okay, emperor was considered as a highest ruler, but the actual power gradually came into the hand of the aristocratic class. Okay, aristocratic class, in Hindi we can call the people those who are wealthy. Okay, अमीर लोग जो होते थे, ठीक है, वेल मेंटेन्ड क्लास लोग जो होते थे, ठीक है, जिसको कि हिंदी में कुलीन वर्ग कहते हैं बेसिकली. सो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम डेवलप्ड एंड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ द स्टेट बिकेम स्ट्रॉन्गर, पावरफुल noble family gained political influence, gradually they gained the political influence. So basically वहाँ क्या हुआ, जो पावर था ना उस टाइम पे बेसिकली ये था कि जो सम्राट है यानी जो वहाँ का लीडर है वो सबसे ऊपर माना जाता था, सबसे फर्स्ट शासक माना जाता था, ठीक है, फर्स्ट रूलर माना जाता था. लेकिन जो इम्पोर्टेंट जो पावर थी ना वो किनके पास थी, वो अरिस्टोक्रेटिक क्लास के पास थी. बेसिकली वो जो अमीर या वेल्दी क्लास के लोग थे उनके पास थी. धीरे धीरे करके क्या हुआ, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम था वो डेवलप्ड हुआ, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ द स्टेट जो था ये सारी चीज़ डेवलप हुई, और इट बिकेम लाइक अ स्ट्रॉन्गर पावरफुल नोबल फैमिलीज गेन पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस. धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ, जो कि ये फैमिलीज थी इनके जो पावरफुल लोग थे उनको पॉलिटिकली जो था उसमें ज़्यादा पॉलिटिकल में ज़्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस हो गए वो लोग, ठीक है, उनको ज़्यादा उसमें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, ठीक है, उसमें ज़्यादा वो इन्वॉल्व होने लग गए. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर देखें तो फुजीवारा फैमिली पावरफुल अरिस्टोक्रेटिक फैमिली. ओके, ये कौन थे, पावरफुल फैमिलीज थी किसमें, कुलीन वर्ग के अंदर. एंड द कोर्ट गवर्नमेंट इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. तो कोर्ट गवर्नमेंट जो थी उनकी किसमें इंपॉर्टेंट रोल थी, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के अंदर. नाउ द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज इन्फ्लुएंस ऑफ द फुजीवारा फैमिली. ओके, सो बेसिकली in 9th point we are learning that influence of the Fujiwara family. So the Fujiwara family maintained strong influence over Japan's politics for a long time. Okay, they gained power through marriage, alliance and administrative control. So basically क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पर जो फुजीवारा फैमिली थी वो भी किस में आती थी, वो अरिस्टोक्रेटिक फैमिलीज के अंदर आती थी वो. तो बेसिकली उन्होंने बहुत टाइम तक जो थे ना वो पॉलिटिक्स में अच्छे पोजीशन पे बने रहे, ठीक है, एंड दे रूल्ड फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. और जो पावर थी बेसिकली कैसे इंक्रीज करी उन्होंने, थ्रू मैरिड एंड द अलायंसेस. ओके, मैरिज अलायंसेस मीन्स इफ यू वांट्स टू conquer someone's state or anything, so you have to fight to them. But if you don't want to fight, so you have to do the peace, peace समझौता होता है ना वैसा वाला. तो उसी टाइम पे क्या होता था, marriage was a one of the peace example. Okay, if you want to make peace, you can marry from the another state's girl or from that family's daughter. Okay, तो उससे क्या होता था बेसिकली जो उनके जो भी राज्य होते थे या उनके जो भी एम्पायर्स होते थे वो इनके अंडर आ जाते थे, ठीक है. सो द रियल पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस वाज कंट्रोल्ड बाय द फुजीवारा फैमिली एंड दे प्लेड एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन Heian period politics. Okay, so the example we can see that Fujiwara family was a powerful noble group. Okay, marriage alliances method of the gaining political power. I already explained you, right? Now the 10th point. So 10th point is culture of the Heian period. So the Heian period was famous for literature, art, and aesthetic culture. Okay, during this time, literature in the Japanese language developed, and aesthetics class gave a new direction to the cultured life. Okay, poetry, writing, and artistic activities received special importance, which helped in the development of Japanese culture. So basically what happened there, Heian culture became famous for the literature, poetry, arts, and aesthetic lifestyle, and Japanese language literature became a stronger. For example, we can see the Tale of the Genji. Okay, the Tale of the Genji. So now the next point is entry of Buddhism into Japan. Okay, so Buddhism reached Japan through China and Korea. It influenced not only religion life but also political structure and state formation. Gradually, Buddhism became an important part of the Japanese society and culture, and it influenced art, architecture, education, and social values. So basically what happened there, Buddhism entered Japan through China and the Korea. First, we all know, right, that Buddhism was started from the India. So gradually it became very famous in the world. So if we see the Japan nowadays, there is a many believers of Buddhism. Many Buddhist people were living there, right? So Buddhism entered Japan through China and Korea. Impact, if we can say impact, so religion, politics, education, and architecture. For example, we can say that Prince Sotoku supported Buddhism at that time. Okay, who? Prince Sotoku Prince Sotoku. Okay. Now the 12th point, relationship between Shinto and Buddhism. Shinto and Buddhism was two different religion, okay, which was famous in the Japan at that time. So in the Japan, Shinto and Buddhism developed together. Okay, local religious traditions and Buddhist ideas influenced each other, creating a unique identity of Japanese religious life. Shinto focused on nature and the local gods, while Buddhism emphasized spiritual ideas, meditations, and temple culture. So both religions influence Japan's society, culture, and lifestyle. So basically Japan followed both tradition together. Okay, Shinto, what Shinto represent? Nature worship and local gods, and Buddhism represent that time spiritual life and meditations. So together they created unique Japanese culture. Okay. About 13th point, development of Buddhist sect. So with time, different Buddhist sect developed in Japan. This sect spread religious ideas among common people and influenced social life. Different from the Buddhism, also affected Japanese culture, politics, and traditions. So basically in this 13th topic, different Buddhist groups developed over time. Okay, important sect was Jain Buddhism and Pure Land sect. So the effect was spread among common people, influenced societies. Okay, and for the note, different paths, same religion, right? Buddhist was one religion, but later gradually it divided into two parts. First was a Buddhist, normal Buddhist, and second was a Jain Buddhist. Now the 14th point, Mongol inventions and Japan. So in 1274 and 1281, Mongols attacked the Japan. Okay, Japan successfully faced these challenges, and these events strengthened nation identity, unity, and the feeling of security among Japanese people. Okay, this inventions also influenced Japan's military organization and political condition. So basically, like Mongols attacked on Japan two times. Okay, first was 1274 and second time 1281. So at that time, the Japan became successful in to face that challenges. Okay, that war, and at that time, like basically, Japan successfully defeated itself. Okay, and affected was, if we see the effects, like at that time national unity increased. Okay, like people became वो बहुत जागरूक हो रहे थे, है ना, for the nation. Like they were showing their love for their nations. Military organization improved at that time. Okay, so basically, like Mongols attacked strengthened Japan. Okay, now the next point is 15th concept of divine wind, Kamikaze. Okay, Japanese called as Kamikaze. So during the Mongol invasions, storms that helped protect Japan were called divine wind. Okay, or Kamikaze. In Japanese traditions, they were considered a symbol of divine protection. Basically, they were considering that wind as a divine protection. So this idea increased influence and national feelings among the Japanese people, and later it became the part of Japanese national thoughts. So basically, what happened in the divine wind time at that time, like during the Mongol attacks, storm protected Japan's many times, like storm protected Japan's. So Japanese people called it this Kamikaze, means divine wind. Like they were thinking that some divine power is helping us and protecting us from this war. Okay, like people believe that Japan received divine protection. Okay, now the 16th point is Shogun System. The private land system known as Shogun expanded in Japan over time. I hope you can see it well. So this weakened, like central government controlled and increased the power of aristocrats and religious institutions. The Shogun system brought major changes in Japan's political and social structure. So basically, in the 16th number, in the Shogun system was like Japanese private land ownership system. Okay, over time, large land became like privately. Okay, and controlled government. If we see the control, so government control became like weak. Okay, and aristocrats became powerful. Aristocrat we already seen in the previous topics, right? So if we talk about the effects, so control authority weakened and local power increased. Okay, now the 17 point rise of the samurai class. You know, have you remember samurai rangers? Okay, so that like influence from the Japanese culture. So basically, like political changes led to the rise of the warrior class known as a samurai. So they gained importance through military power and fighting skills, and gradually samurai became powerful and played an important role in the Japanese political system and social structure. So basically what happened in this, because of political instability, warrior groups became powerful, okay, and these warriors were called samurai. So samurai became famous for military skills, discipline and loyalty for their nation. So they followed Bushido code, more rule of the samurai, okay. So like Bushido code is ethical code of the samurai, okay, which like followed by the samurai. So the Kamakura government was an important stage in Japanese history, okay. So because it marked the beginning of military rule, political power shifted from the imperial court to the military leaders. Under this system, samurai influence increased and major administrative changes occurred, okay. For example, we can see that Kamakura government, it started in 1185 or 1192. So first military government was there, and Minamoto no Yoritomo, founder of the Kamakura rule, okay. So basically what happened here in this, like the Kamakura government marked the beginning of military rule, and power shifted from imperial military to military leaders, okay, imperial to military leaders. And important, if we can see the founder Minamoto no Yoritomo, okay, he was the founder of Kamakura government, okay. And if we can talk about the effects, the samurai influence increased and the administrative changes started, okay. Now the next topic is Shogun system. So in the Shogun system, the emperor remains the symbolic highest ruler, but actual political authority was controlled by the military leaders, okay, called shoguns. So this system increased the influence of the samurai and shaped the Japan politics for a long time, okay. Basically in what happened the under this system, emperor became a symbolic ruler, okay, and shogun actual political ruler, okay. Emperor became symbolic and shogun became a actual political leaders and ruler. So military leaders controlled government at that time, and effect, if we can see the effect, so samurai became the powerful and military administration developed, okay. Now the last topic of this part, so topic number 20, military rule and political change. So the rise of military rule was not only the political changes but also a transformation in social and economic structures, okay. The samurai class became an important political force and new system of administration and power developed in Japan. One second, basically I don't know how to write on the screen by using this marker, okay. Now you can see this clearly. So basically what happened here, the military government changed Japanese societies, okay, and changes, we can see the new administration, strong military power, okay, and social transformation also there. So samurai became central to the politics, okay. So यहाँ पे हमारा जो होता है ये ख़त्म होता है, ठीक है, फर्स्ट टॉपिक ऑफ दिस chapter. But in the next video we are going to cover more 20 important points from the same chapter, from the same course, okay. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next class.